Hey everybody, if you're wondering what's going on here, this is one of my Goodwill finds video. Basically, if you're new to the channel because of the voice acting, voiceover stuff, yeah, I like to go to Goodwill by the pound and see what I can find for use in D&D. I didn't find a lot of, crafting supplies. I found, a lot of really good stuff lately. This is one of my latest videos where I made this lovely mechanical Mr. Potato Head, this lovely robot guy using stuff that I found at the Goodwill by the pound. This is just random toy parts. Obviously, the Mr. Potato Head, the toy train parts, arm from Monsters University toy, I believe, educational toy bits, and the Jaws McDonald's toy, and these lovely glass eyes. I don't even know what these are, but they are amazing looking. And yeah, little bits off a model, I believe, aircraft carrier that I only found little bits for. Yeah, so stuff like that I use to make interesting little projects like this. Not so much crafting stuff that I found this week, but I did find some very interesting old tactical board games. Space Empires, The Hunters, Silent Victory, and Enemy Coast Ahead. These are very specific, very tactical board game things I'm very happy to find. I will check them out. They're not exactly my thing, but I might end up just using them for eBay fodder. I don't know. I found some little granny grate stuff. This is for, I think you can use this for felting and quilting and all sorts of stuff. But these little squares here are amazing for making window panes and all sorts of stuff for D&D. I've seen people make amazing ladders out of that stuff. We found a bunch of bits. A lovely little banner here from some sort of toy. Obviously, it doesn't look great now, but you could paint this up if you had a little bit of train. Clips are always great. I found a lot of these little statues for a board game, and I don't remember what board game it was because it was all ripped up. So these were mostly loose, although I did find an entirely intact packet of these guys. So yeah, a lot of these are obviously, kind of too small or completely out of scale. Little warrior guys might be maybe halfling guards at that size. Something like that. Obviously, a lot of these more mythical, we have, obviously, this is either Poseidon here. That would look really great as a statue. We have a lovely, lovely hooded figure here. Already when I look at stuff like this, I can already see the uses for a hooded figure like this. All sorts of puzzle stuff, and if nothing else, just a little bit of dungeon dressing. I like to throw stuff down on the table, So I found a bunch of those. I found this really weird. I don't know why. I shouldn't have bought this. I think I bought this just because it was so dumb. They were so desperate to make toys from the first of the second Star Wars trilogy. And so they had this little, walking throne thing. And honestly, I think the only reason I got it was to actually tear, the little bits off so I could use them for a D&D machine maybe later on. Because if you look at it, the toy body itself is terrible looking. But the legs itself are actually pretty neat. And there's some great detail on there. So I could easily rip these off and put them on a apparatus of Qualash, I believe, or some sort of techno-magical D&D thing. I did find this magical wand here, which is very beat up and dirty. Wanted to see if I could use this as a DIY texture roller, and just see what this texture would look like if I just use this as a texture roller. Because I think I would be able to do this, because this is rather firm plastic. So this would really work good. If it was wet, it would definitely work good on green stuff, and maybe even on something like Sculptamold. I don't know. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, you know what? Even though this is very beat up, I might want to try using it as a texture roller. Just see how that works. That is all for the Goodwill by the pound stuff. But I did find this $3.49 bag of dragons. And I saw a cheap dragon sculpt that I had never seen before, which I thought was really cool looking. Because it kind of had like... kind of reminded me of like cockatrice style features. And obviously this is a wyvern and less of a dragon because it doesn't have the front legs. But yeah, I really like the cockatrice style features on this. It's a nice enough dragon for $3.25. And then we have a green proper dragon. But yeah, I like the pose on this one because he's kind of like crawling around on the ground. Not exactly... You know what? The more I look at this one, the more I actually like it. The over-exaggerated scales. It's pretty rubbery, so I don't know if I would actually try to repaint this. Because if you didn't know, the more rubbery the material, the more difficult it is to get the paint adhere, and the bigger the risk of, even if you get the paint to adhere at first, handling it and causing like stuff to move and bend. If the material is kind of cheaper like this, it'll cause the paint to flake off. Now, what they do in the factory is they heat anneal. Again, I'm not incredibly familiar with it, but basically they basically treat the material with heat. So when they paint it, the properties in the material will allow the paint to adhere much better. That's not exactly something that's easy for me to do. So considering the amount of cheap miniatures that are out there that are made for painting that will take paint way better than some of these, less rigid materials. And then this bizarre one. What is this guy? This is apparently a Toy Smith dragon. And it's one of those ones with the wire in it so you can pose the wings and the tail. But yeah, what a goofy looking dragon. This is like a classic bad painted dragon here. This is something I might just leave for, one of the neighbor kids to pick up and play and just have something to play around with, because it's not very useful for tabletop. I guess I could, but again, I'd rather put my time into making stuff that's going to be much more impressive when I'm done with the project. And that's really not. Let's go through the random stuff. Found an old army flashlight again. I love these things. They store various parts and bits. I believe this is where the different... Yep. You have the different translucent things, so you can make the light a different color. I believe if you unscrew this, you'll have all the connections. And then I believe if you unscrew this, there should be an extra... Yeah, and then there's an extra bulb underneath the spring, if you can see that. So yeah, I love the army surplus lights like this. This is very good. If you'll note, this is actually the same type of flashlight you'll see in many different survival horror video games, because it has the little strap on here that you could put in your front pocket so you can have your hands free as the light kind of shines where you face it. It's got the little flash button thing and then the on-off switch of 3 different settings. I don't even remember. I think one of these settings is flash, so it'll just flash a while. So this could have a lot of uses just in regular life. You could put the red gel filter on there and then put it up as a flash, and it could be like a not great but somewhat okay warning light thing. Yeah, all sorts of books. Black Cauldron, Golden Book, Walt Disney Golden Book. This was in actually decent condition. The Black Cauldron is just one of the earliest books that I read myself as a child, and I really liked it. And I didn't read the full novel, obviously. The Black Cauldron in itself is a young adult book, but I did read one of these little tiny books like this as a kid that had part of the Black Cauldron story. I think it was the Berenstain Bears and then the Black Cauldron books. And yeah, so I bought this just so I could donate it to the library book sale. We got the collector's edition of Wicked, Son of a Witch, which is the gold leaf edition. So I just thought that looked fancy. If nothing else, I'll check it out and then maybe donate it. We just got an empty 3DS case. Or actually, no, that's just a regular DS case. Just, so I can have... I have games that don't have cases, so I like to grab that every once in a while. I also grabbed Madden 11, just because, again, it comes with the PlayStation 3 case that I can reuse. Some movies. We got some random thing here. Look at this, a triple feature of Goonies, Gremlins, and Gremlins 2. I saw so much about Gremlins recently, and I realized, I haven't actually watched that since, the 80s. That's one of these movies I might want to rewatch next Christmas, because it's a Christmas classic. Animated Son of the Batman, which is... I've never heard anything about this movie. I can't imagine it's that great if I've never heard anything about it. But, I'll check it out. Considering, they're selling DVDs now for, 30 cents a pound. So, yeah. Also, Dracula. Season 1. Never heard of this. Never heard of this at all. I have no idea what the heck is going on with this series, but you know what? I will check it out because I've never heard of it, but it seems pretty interesting. This is an NBC show, apparently. No clue what the heck. Never-Ending Story. Yeah, I think I bought this just so I can donate it to the library, because I think the Never-Ending Story is a pretty good movie. So again, every time I see something interesting that's in mint condition, I'll usually buy it and then just donate it to the library book sale, so people can buy it for their kids. And then finally, this is for resale only. I bought a Wii Operation Manual, which yeah, these are the books that came with the original console. And yeah, I like to when I see stuff like that, I like to resell it because some people are looking for a manual to go with their system and stuff. So, and again, stuff like that's cheap. That's, again, with the 30 cents a pound thing. So, that's all the stuff I got from the Goodwill by the pound. Except for these two things, of course, which is these two things were $3.50, or $3.49 that I got from the Savers thrift store. But the rest of them, all of that, was all Goodwill by the pound finds. And I wanted to say that I found something on eBay that was very interesting. I found this Frameworks Beholder on eBay for the princely sum of $19 shipped. Completely brand new, never opened. This is clearly from a game store. The seller was actually a game store. And I think that's very interesting that I saw so many of these Framework things being unsold on the shelves of my local game stores. Considering how cheap these are selling compared to the MSRP, I think this is a very good example of, not understanding the market. And again, I think everybody should go watch the Goobertown Hobbies video about the Frameworks, because he explains that this specific product line was priced higher than Games Workshop Warhammer lines. And it's a similar product, but boy, I just don't see that many people interested in the D&D hobby who are going to pay premium prices. Again, the MSRP on the Beholder is $50, and I bought it new for $19 shipped. I think that says something. I think that says that perhaps some of the D&D stuff is overpriced, and they have not done as much market research as they probably should have before jumping into new products and whatnot. So, hey, I want to thank everybody for watching the video. Again, if you're interested in more voiceover stuff, I'm going to be doing more shorts and more voiceover stuff. It's a lot of fun, and I'm going to be doing more of that stuff. But I'm also going to be doing more crafting and more taking a look at random stuff from the Goodwill by the pound. If any of you have any questions about any of the finds today, or if you want to leave a comment and remind me what board game this is from, because again, look at this. Look at this. Look how awesome this is. What a great, like this, I could cut this off the base, and this actually could work for a D&D miniature, but it would be much better if I left it on the base and painted it up like a statue, right? I mean, man, look how cool that would be on the table. Is this painted up as an old statue? Like, maybe the statue could, like, come to life and attack the players, or maybe it's just part of the puzzle. I mean, the players don't know. If there's anything you want to add to the conversation, let me know in the comments below. Wah! Channel memberships on this channel. You. Sign up today. If you have the extra $1. It helps out a lot. Okay. Bye.